Okay, so now we're going to show you the interview. This is part 2, essentially, of Blast from the Past. So we're going to show you the interview that I was talking about, because I found this, and this is from 2018. So it's a really cool interview. I'm not going to play the whole interview, obviously. If you want to get the whole interview, then feel free to check it out in the comments below, and you can go and look that up and see if there's anything interesting that jumps out at you that hasn't jumped out at me, and put in the comments if you find something interesting as well, and we can always re-go over all that kind of stuff. Now, bear in mind, I'm not sure how much of this is actually going to still be true and still relevant in today, because of the fact that this is from quite a while ago, and some of it may not be relevant anymore. So it literally is just to let you have a little bit of interesting thing to listen to, or whatever, a bit of fun. Maybe stick it in your earphones while you're tidying or something like that. I don't know. But either way, this is the interview, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we are, back with the interview. I've lined it all up. I've got my earphones in and all that kind of stuff ready to take you through it. So let's have a little listen to some of the, shall we even, to some of the stuff that's really sort of like pricked my ears up. Now remember, this is from 2018, so some of the stuff won't be coming in anymore, or maybe some of the stuff they've held on for. I don't know. I don't know why, but I never really realised the massive amount of exposure that could be for the retail sector, essentially. Now, we spoke about it a little bit when we talked about the Crypto Crow interview, because they spoke about it a little bit then, but listen to this. This is really interesting.
There's 2 other chips that are currently unused, so we will be looking to expand the functionality in the future as well.
Awesome. And how about retailers? How is this actually going to get to market? Is it going to be just on a web shop or an Amazon, or do you actually have brick and mortar businesses which are you at least in talks with, if you can't announce them yet, but who are going to be selling the card?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so at the start, we're going to be giving away the card during the crowd sale, as we mentioned earlier, and then it will come.
Incidentally, they gave away the wallet when they did the crowdfunding, essentially, or the original coin offering. They actually gave away an Ecomi. I really wish I was in on that. I'm wondering if Adam Awesomeface, as I said, he was in the Crypto Lark interview. I'm wondering if he got one. I'd really like to know, because apparently what happened was when you spent like over $500 or something like that on the card itself, or on Omi tokens, you actually got given a free wallet, and that wallet was worth, I think, like $189 or something like that, and actually got given it free as part of the thing, which I don't know any other crypto where you get anything like that, which is amazing.
To our web store, direct to consumers, and we are actually discussing with a number of retail chains, so we are making a retail box product to go out. So here's our box product. It has all our area on it. Yeah,
cool. Yeah. David's actually been in the retail and distribution for 20+ years. So he has numerous international distribution. So yeah, part of our key strategy to get the wallet out there is, number one, sell it direct to consumer, like everybody else, but also get it into all the tech stores right around the world. We think people sort of seeing this on the shelf, it might bring a whole lot of people into crypto as well. They'll be like, wow, what's that? It's kind of interesting.
So there you go. That's the idea, is to get it to as many stores as possible. And like I said, I didn't even think about the scope of this at all. And they've already said, as they did in the Crypto Crow interview, about the fact they're going to do different ones with the NFT inside. So like, for instance, if you buy a Batman NFT, then you could get the wallet that's already got Batman logos on it and that kind of thing. So it's essentially like just buying a present. And I think I touched on this on the Crypto Crow interview, but the lady who bought the Crypto Kitties had so much issue trying to buy a present for a friend or whatever because she wanted to buy him a Crypto Kitty. Well, this would be literally go into the store, buy the thing, and you're good to go. Simple as that. And it's just going to be awesome. I know it is.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Okay, so next feature, Ecomi One. So this is a digital wallet for your crypto and for your fiat, which you can access through the card.
Correct. So essentially, Ecomi One, which is coming out in Q1 of 2018, is basically the secure wallet.
Okay, so Ecomi One is the secure wallet, but then they're also talking about the card, I believe, as well. Let me just check.
However, it's going to these 2 little things down here are the charging terminals, by the way. I just mentioned that the card is fully rechargeable, lasts up to 4 weeks on a single charge if you use it 2 to 3 times a day. If you use it less than that, obviously it lasts a lot longer. So these 2 chips here are going to be replaced with the UMV debit chip, and then you'll be able to spend your fiat and your crypto on the fly anywhere in the world.
Great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So that kind of helps, kind of leap past the whole situation where we've had a lot of crypto debit card companies which have promised to come to fruition, like 10X, for example. I ordered a card more than a year ago, I think at this point, about a year ago somewhere, but it's never come, right? And so you're actually going to be able to deliver these, and is it going to have a Visa MasterCard logo on it?
At the moment, we are in discussions with those guys, but nothing is finalized. One of the things that because obviously I was an investor in things like 10X and all that as well, pretty disappointed that, I wasn't able to use it in certain areas. So we've actually worked quite hard, Dave has worked quite hard on the regulatory side, understanding exactly why these cards haven't worked in the past and what's caused the problem. So we've already done quite a lot of work in the past, working with these regulatory bodies, understanding exactly why the other cards have had the issues that they have. We are actually in talks with, and I'm sure that we are following the correct line and path, and that we're not going to have any issues the same as these guys. But
So it sounds really interesting. I don't know if the wallet has that functionality at the moment, but essentially the idea is to be able to take it into a store and be able to pay for stuff. So, I guess maybe they've changed that option from the card. They had the one card essentially, and they haven't spoken much about that. But I guess we're more into the collectibles, and that's the sort of avenues we're looking at now. But it just shows what is essentially possible. Other than, all the virtual reality stuff, the VVverse and all that kind of thing, we've also got like retail products that are absolutely brilliant. Now, I've got here the next thing along. I'm going to let you speculate for yourself on this one. So let's have a little looky here. I will go to just about here. 1326 is what I'm going to try and get to. So there we go. We'll go from 1323.
Exactly.
Now, are we looking at any partnerships?
Okay, now I'm not going to speculate on this. I'm just going to let you listen to what he says, and then I may chime in occasionally, but obviously we don't want to do speculation because people don't like that. So let's move on.
Like that? Who are your partners already, and who are you aiming for?
Yeah, so the partnerships, what we are discussing right now is we have divided the Ecomi Collect into the 5 main categories, where number one, we cover the animations. So these are a lot of anime, for example, Naruto, Bleach, these will probably come on board. And
he said example there, for example. So are these examples that they've already got, or are these examples that he's just using as examples? I'll let you decide.
And then we have a movie content side with film, which we talk to Warner, Sony, Universal.
We talk to Warner, Sony, Universal. That's who they've got already.
And this is covering all their TV series and movies. And obviously we want to bring things that's interesting into it. Then we have what we call the classic characters, which is characters that when you're a childhood. That's possibly Disney coming up type of...
That's possibly Disney coming up? Is that what he said?
Characters. And then we have gaming, which is basically from your online games or your PC, PlayStation games. And fifth one, which is basically artists. So we also see the collect sector is also going to work for a lot of artists who are very creative doing their art. Could be a street art. They're never able to commercialize their artwork, and now they can put it through our Ecomi Collect to make it work for them.
Very cool.
Main thing about the Collect business is that through blockchain we can verify ownership, authentication.
Okay, so we know all that stuff that they can verify it and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of partners that he's been talking about. Again, this is from 2018, so you can see that some of them have definitely come to fruition already. Some of them, I'll let you make your own mind up on that. 1638, that's my next little bit here. Let me just move to there so that you can see. Let's go from 1625.
It's gaming or selling a physical product, because the product that you issue on are going to be crypto. And secondly is that it's going to be also augmented onto our storage card, which we'll do. Should we do a demo?
Yeah. So we've got one of the big things for us is that collectors love to show off their
to look at their stuff, right? I'm just thinking, like, if I had a rare, let's say a Star Wars picture, I'd want to have it on my wall so I could see it once in a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
He needs to get himself an
Okay,
Ultraman picture.
So that's
what he needs.
you're holding the card, and
So
that's
this is a Tokidoki figure that we have put on as a demo. And you tap it, this is going into your showroom and showcase things you have. You can pull it back, forward, and basically. And idea is that it works off so the Ecomi Collect, it's not just another card that just try to turn it around so everyone can see it. Here we go.
That's great.
Yeah. So the whole tangibility side was really, really big to us. So obviously this is just a very early demo.
Aha! I managed to get it. Now, I already re-recorded this video a while back, and this is like a re-recording of it, and I wasn't able to click on to pause it at the exact right moment, but I've just managed to do it now. So hopefully you can see that there. That one, he very, very quickly tries to get out of. Okay, so let's do it this way. Anyway, look, you see, do you see? He quickly moves out the way, and he doesn't want to show anyone what that was. And I was trying to figure out what it was, so I took a screenshot of it. So let's see if we can go to that screenshot, so you can see. There's the screenshot just there, and let's see if we can move in to see what it is. And I will let you do your own speculations as to what it could be. For my personal speculation, I can't really tell what it is, to be honest, but it looks a bit like it could be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Because you can see here, it's got the head with the eyes, there's a little, sword, and all that kind of thing. As I said, I'm not going to speculate that's the case. It could be just a blurry mess. So, but I'll let you make your own mind up from that of what you think it could possibly be. You know, let me zoom it in a little bit more for you, just so you can see it even clearer. But obviously, it gets blurry because it's in the situation. But it could be anything. Literally, it could be anything. So I'm not going to speculate on that. And I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to try and speculate on anything, in fact. But let's move on, shall we? So there's that little bit. And now this is really interesting. This next bit here. Now this is what I was talking about. Let me just see if I can get to the right spot here. And now, incidentally, this whole interview is brilliant. It really is. It really, really opens your eyes as to what the possibilities are for the future. Now, as I said, this is an old interview, so I don't know how much of this they're still going ahead with. So I suppose you could take this as speculation, but I'm not saying anything about it. I'm literally just putting my views of the interview from 2018. So this is when they this is before they even did the original coin offering, essentially, and let people buy into it. They went around some crypto YouTubers.
What we're going to do is link all of the access to this data to the private keys. And those private keys are obviously stored on this card. We also have coming up in the coming months a browser extension. So what's going to happen, similar to like 1Password or Dashlane, you're going to be able to have a small browser extension. And sorry, just for those of you who don't know, 1Password is like a password manager. So you come to a website, and rather than entering your details, you can click the 1Password and it will enter it for you. So these services are very, very good. Don't get me wrong. I use them myself at the moment, but they are still fully centralized. And that does pose a risk. You know, I mean, even I still feel a little bit nervous that literally all my passwords are with 1Password. So what we're planning to do is, number one, have a very similar service, but make it decentralized and link all of that data to your private keys. And those private keys are stored on the secure wallet. So when you come to log into a site or try to access some very sensitive information, you're going to use the browser extension, assuming you're doing it on your computer, and then the wallet will actually prompt you to press the button to release that information off the card, or sorry, to access the private key on the card to release that information. So it's a very, very, very secure way that you can store your passwords and your files.
How good is that? I'm not sure if this has been covered or not at all. I didn't know about it personally, but I didn't massively look into the wallet because of the fact that it's always sold out. I haven't looked into it, but if that is a feature on that wallet, I want that wallet now. I literally, not even just to store my OMI, but because of all this cool stuff. Now, I know I can use my ledger for a similar type idea, incidentally, because there's the UB2 or something. So you can actually use it, and I use it to secure my Binance and a few other ones as well. So if you want to do any transfers in and out, then you can only put your ledger in and the thingy. But it's a lot more hassle than it would be just to have the card near you and just push it, and it's fingerprint active as well, I believe. So it's not like anybody else can just go, oh, I'll push the button for you. You have to have your fingerprint on there. So therefore, it literally is so like locked up. It's unbelievable. And I really want one of these wallets now. I really do. I'm gonna have to wait for them to come out again. But they're like trying to get NFTs on the day. Impossible. As soon as they come out, they just fly off the shelves. So hopefully they're going to start bringing them out again, but in bigger amounts. And I know they're going to sell massive amounts of them because I think everyone in the Ecomi community wants one of those wallets. But anyway, and if you let me buy one, incidentally, Ecomi, if you're listening to this, which I'm pretty sure you're not, because I'm not even a blip on your radar, but if you are listening to this and you want me to, I'll happily buy one and then do a review for you I haven't got that many followers, to be honest, or subscribers, but I will happily do a review, the ins and outs of it, and hopefully, get people to know about it. But obviously, if you're always selling out, you don't need to do that anyway. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing, shall we? And that is, now, obviously, as I said, there's a lot more in this interview anyway, but I don't want to take up all of your day, essentially, watching this video. So feel free to go and check it out yourself.
Super rares, they have some significant value to them. So same deal with crypto. If you've got like $1 million in Bitcoin, you're not going to store it on Poloniex or Bittrex or whatever. You're going to want to put these somewhere very safe. So here's our app. Sorry, the lighting's actually not too good here. I think we've got a bit of
I can see it okay.
Yeah. So basically, we've just tried to make it really nice and simple. You've got all the coins on there. Obviously, our OMI at the top, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum.
So this is the app that connects with the wallet.
And so we've tried to make it very, very easy to help bring people on. So can you see that all right?
Yeah, I can see it okay. And so that's my Bitcoin wallet. And then also, let's say I've got 5 different collectible kitties that will also show up on my app there as well.
Absolutely, yes. So within this section here,
So what he's saying is essentially you can also store other collectibles on there as well. So if you've got crypto kitties or if you've got anything else, then you can store those all on there as well, which is absolutely awesome.
Completed the Ecomi Ecomi Collect section of this wallet. There will actually be another section in here for your collectibles, and then when you click on that, it will basically list all your collectibles, and at that point you can send them on or send them off. So if I go, for example, through to the send, I can go through all the basic send process. But then one of the other sort of security features to make it as easy as possible at our end.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the utility of the OMI token itself, because that's something a lot of people have been saying, there's no utility in the token, blah, blah, blah. And now they have changed it now. Obviously, we know that they're changing it so that you can actually buy some stuff with OMI. But incidentally, you've got to remember that when you're buying it with OMI, if you buy the OMI off the exchange, for instance, and take it into the app, they don't make money on that. So they do need to make sure they figure out a way that they can also make money from it as well, which I think is fair enough. And I did a video on it the other day. I'll link it in the thing up the top there, so you can see if you haven't seen it already. Now, some people said it was FUD and stuff like that. I don't think it was FUD. It was literally just letting you know what essentially happened and why they changed it, because some people were like, well, why did they change it? Because I wanted to do a full burn, etc., etc. But they literally would have made no money from it. So therefore, what their essential option was that people come into the app and there's almost like an exchange. They buy OMI with the fiat, and then obviously then they get the money for the fiat. But if you were to buy it on the exchange, you could be buying it off me, for instance. So therefore, if you're buying it off me, they're not getting any money for you buying that OMI. So I suppose you could argue that essentially they are the liquidity, so therefore they would essentially own all the OMI. And obviously when you buy the OMI, that means that the price of the OMI goes up as well, so that's a good thing. But if it doesn't get burnt and it carries on the ecosystem, then it's still, a similar thing. So you've got to bear that in mind as well. And it took me a while to sort of get my head around that, the fact that they wouldn't make any money from people bringing it from an outside source, essentially. But it's essentially, I suppose, like saying that the government makes money every time somebody passes me £10, which isn't true, is it? So therefore, if I've got a cake to sell and I sell it to someone, that person gives me £10. I've then got to put that money into the bank or then spend it on something else in order for it to have value. If I was to then take that £10 and just burn it right in front of them, then obviously it's not worth anything because I've burnt my £5. That's the end of it. Well, that's essentially what people were saying, that Ecomi should do with the OMI. The OMI comes in from an outside source, essentially, an exchange, and then they're going to burn it. Well, that's not going to happen because they wouldn't make any money. So, but this is some of the utility for the token. So I'll let you listen to this.
The utility of the OMI token is around our dApps, and our two main dApps are Ecomi Collect and Ecomi Vault. So we actually have a fairly strong staking model where, for example, in Ecomi Collect, we have something called a master collector. And the master collector gives you a lot of different access to certain things. So say, for example, a new collectible series comes out. If you're a master collector, you might get early access, or you might get some free airdrop. But in order to become a Ecomi collector, you have to do numerous different things. And one of those things is stake a certain amount of coins, a certain amount of OMI tokens. The more OMI tokens you stake, the higher chance you have. There are a bunch of other factors in there as well. So, it's not just a money game. It's all about, what collectibles you own, the duration you've been in there. So that's one side of Collect, is the staking side. The other side for people who may not be so much into crypto and may not want to do this kind of staking thing, is that all of the collectibles are purchased with the OMI tokens. The OMI token is basically the currency of Ecomi Collect. You'll buy a collectible with 1,000 OMIs, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible at our end. Again, for the people who aren't necessarily in crypto, to be able to come in, set up an account, buy some OMI tokens very, very easily with their credit card, and then use those tokens to buy the collectibles. Very much in the same way that, when you're playing a game and you can't be bothered grinding through all the levels, so you'll just go in and you'll buy some gems with your credit card, and then within the game, you use those gems to buy some extra armor or whatever it's going to do to accelerate you. So it's very, very much the same.
So is this, I wonder, when they decided that gems were going to be the new form of currency rather than OMI, because people were getting confused with the whole OMI situation. So they thought, we'll make it gems, because that's what they used to use in games, which makes more sense. But I guess it also confused a lot of people, because they were like, well, why do we need gems, or why do we need OMI? So, and that's still the thing, isn't it? Still people saying OMI is no use, there's no need for OMI. Well, essentially OMI is the gems. They've just made it so that people can understand it easier who don't understand crypto.
That with Collect. Same thing kind of goes with Ecomi Vault. So people will have the option to either stake, and so they can just stake X amount of OMI tokens based on the features that they want. And then the cool thing is that once they have decided that they don't want to use the service, if that ever happens, they can simply just pull their tokens down and then do whatever they want with them, sell them or convert them. So effectively, they're not really having to pay for that service. They're just having to stake their tokens for the duration.
So is OMI Vault still going ahead? I don't know. I hope it is, because it sounds absolutely awesome, because it's essentially a way for you to take your copyrighted material and have it there to prove that you came up with this system or whatever it is you've got. And, think of the amount of uses that has. Even just like, for the general public who come up with an idea for an invention or something and go, you could even go and you can search those records probably as well, just like you could with normal trademarks and stuff like that. But to be able to trademark something in a way that it doesn't cost you as much money, essentially, you stake your OMI tokens, and then that's sort of used as your payment process, essentially, I guess. And that's what they're saying here, and it sounds absolutely awesome. So I really hope that does come to fruition.
Very cool, very, very cool. I like it. Now, what about the actual partners that you have already? Now, I know we kind of talked a little bit about where partnerships might go, but who's actually signed with you to this date, and what are they bringing in? And do you have any venture capital firms that have taken a big interest in what you guys are doing?
So, regards to partnership in the Collect, we have signed up our first one, which is Tokidoki. Basically, it's a New York brand. It's now actually a US Italian designer, Simone Lingo, and that's number one. And number two, what we've been focusing quite a bit on is actually the hardware manufacturing. And obviously, it's hard to combine 6 steps into one car. That we do have a stake into the factory. So, in regards to the investment side of things, we have been in the private sale process and been what we have been doing quite carefully is actually finding good partners on board rather than someone who just want to buy our token for the purpose of just making money out of it. As mentioned, we are a utility token. The tokens are used to purchase collectible, stake in the ecosystem. So that's how we like to see how it works. We have actually spoke to numerous venture capitalists, and we are actually going through that selecting process right now, and that's part of the reason why we're here in Tokyo today.
And some of the other partners that we've brought on board is that we've been very, very selective with our advisory board. As we've discussed, we've got 4 different products, and so what we've done is that when we've assembled our advisory board, we've chosen some very, very key people that are going to really help us bring these products to the fore. So, for example, under Collect, we have a number of really, really good partners. The first one I'd like to mention is a guy called Cam Punia. He's a very long-term friend of Dave's, and he has been in the collectible space for decades, and he is actually responsible for bringing quite a famous card game to the world called Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not sure if you've...
I've heard of it. I've heard of this thing.
Yeah, so this is just one example.
Now that's interesting because I didn't know about that with Campunia. I realised it was Pixel Games, but I didn't realise anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Either. So, and it's interesting that they're talking about it now.
Products that Cam has brought to the world, and also Dave has also been responsible for bringing a lot of these collectibles into numerous regions such as China, Asia Pacific, Taiwan, etc. So yeah, people like Cam are going to be instrumental to number one, just help us make sure that we're offering the best collectible products that we can. Some other partners that we've got are some really good gaming firms, such as Red Button Gaming, Pixion, and we're really using these guys as our content providers. This is another way that we are helping manage our workload. So we aren't forming, a massive team of 100 or 200 people in-house. We've actually partnered with these guys to help us create our content. So what I mean by that is we will be working directly with the licensors, getting all of the digital assets, and then we'll work out, we're going to offer this in 3D, is it going to be animation, what gamification are we going to have involved, and then working with our partners in the space, these guys are going to help us create a lot of the actual content and bring it over into the Ecomi Collect app. And this is the same story with all of our products. So, with Ecomi Vault, we have one of our advisors, Paul Adams, owns a very, very successful and large IP firm called Everidge IP. And yeah, this is pretty much the same kind of story with each of our products. We're partnering with people who are really adding significant value as advisors to really help bring our products forward and make them the best that we can.
Okay, so there you go. That was the basics of the interview there. I've gone through over a few little bits and stuff with you, but obviously it's a mammoth interview. In fact, I might even split this into 2 videos, I think. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to put the other video, because that video was quite long, obviously, with all the different bits and bobs. But remember, the full interview is available. I'll put the full interview down below so that way you can then go to that and you can listen to the full interview if you want to. I just picked out a few little bits that I found interesting. And it really is a great interview. Now, whether or not a lot of that stuff is still going to happen now, I don't know, because it was from a long time ago. But you can see that a lot of it has already come to fruition already. So, I just thought you'd find it interesting. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to leave you for now. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, don't take this as financial or investment advice in any way, shape or form, because what do I know? I'm new to crypto. Bye-bye for now.